Hello everyone, David Nuno here with TexAgs Rewind on a Thursday, and I'm joined by young Richard. Hello, Richard.
Hello.
Is that your Carlos Correa thing?
Just fun to hear you.
Do you like Carlos Correa?
Not especially, but I can respect it.
There we go, Jams. Jams knows what's up. Yeah, Carlos Correa is great. This is an A&M show, so we'll keep it with A&M, not talk about the best team in all of baseball, the Houston Astros. Yeah, sorry. We're both wearing like shirts
It's
of...
actually the Giants.
Yeah, they are. They are. We beat them once.
Massive Giants.
So, great show. What was your favorite part of the show?
I like listening to Ty Warren.
He-
The man just got the deepest voice ever. He's such a nice human being.
He was great. So love having Ty Warren. We also talked a little 21 in 21 brought to you by Factory Builder Stores. Antonio Johnson is the one coming up on there. Stephen McGee. Here's a little hint for you. He talked about the breakout star coming out of this fall camp. It worked out great. Dalton, I see you working out there. And as you mentioned, Ty Warren, a little bit on Texas versus Texas A&M, that rivalry being renewed, and what he expects from this 2021 team. Can you say something loud for me? Just say something.
Loud noises!
Okay, that was way worse than I thought it was going to be. It's TexAgs Rewind. And number 17 is Antonio Johnson, who played safety at high school and has moonlighted at the nickel position for Texas A&M. And this year, there's a lot of expectations for him. And one of the guys that I think when I asked the initial question, I thought about who could have a breakout year or breakout starts at camp. He's one of those guys.
I love Antonio Johnson's game. He's one of those guys, stats don't even begin to tell the story because his stats last year were pretty modest.
Yep.
But if you just watched him and the way he came along, you get a feeling that this could be a dominant player someday. Not just good, but dominant. You know, they used him in so many ways. He's so tall. He's about 6'4", 210, 220.
Yep.
Big guy. Remember in the bowl game,
He started, right?
I don't know if he started or not, but I do remember them bringing him in and using him as a pass rusher on blitz, and I think he blocked, batted down a pass from Sam Howell. I know he harassed him against Mississippi State. He got in there, almost had an interception. He just, whenever he was out there, you noticed him. He may not make the tackle, but he'd make the play or be involved in it, or he was just always, when he was out there, involved in something good that A&M was doing. And, he's a freshman and everything, and they have good safeties. So the biggest issue or question I have is how are they going to work him in? But I think he may be just too good not to have him out there. Or, he's so big, he's so physical, he's fast, he can do so many things. He really is a wild card for Mike Elko.
So I'm looking at some of his numbers, 14 tackles on the year, including 8 solo, 1 pass breakup. He was the backup safety to Leon and Keldrick Harper last year. He is a guy that I believe coming out of the 2020 class was one of the highest recruited safeties out there. He was very highly recruited.
Yeah, he was.
Out of St. Louis.
And he was, I think, is it St. Louis or was it East St. Louis? I don't know.
I think it's East St. Louis. Sorry. Yeah.
So Illinois, but that's a lot of good players come out of there, by the way. So he just across the river from St. Louis. But, he was. I think he was the number one player in that state. If not, he was
very up there.
Very high up there. And just he's a really good football player. I don't know. Again, do you take Leon O'Neal, who's got 4 years or 3 years of experience off the field for him? Damani Richardson is doing, he's a
things,
NFL, has a NFL future. Eric Young as a nickel. What are you going to do with Antonio Johnson? Who are you going to take off the field to get him in there? I don't know, but I do feel confident that he is so good and getting better that they're going to find a way to get him on the field. And I see it says 6'2", 185.
He's put on some muscles.
That's a long time ago.
That's when he was coming up, and he's certainly gotten a little bigger and stronger since that point. Do you remember? Because I don't remember when he was ejected for targeting against Arkansas. If it was not. I think if I remember correctly, the replay showed it was like a shoulder or something. Do you remember? Or
I don't.
I hate to put you on the spot like
that.
No,
I really don't remember that, and maybe it was because I was so focused on what A&M was doing offensively in that game. But he is a physical guy, and So I wish I could remember that play. I don't. But if that's the case, and I'm not even sure if it was a bad play, you said it looked like he was leading with his shoulder.
I'm trying to go way back in the memory bank. But, again, I want that from a safety.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think what happens now is officials drop a flag for hitting too hard.
Yeah, they do.
If it's a big hit, okay, we're going to drop the flag. And
They'd rather drop the flag and then reevaluate afterwards.
And I guess if they reevaluated, they decided, he did make helmet contact, okay. But I think that Antonio Johnson, I don't know if it's going to be this year, but it might be, is going to develop into this intimidating force in the secondary, a Patrick Bates type of guy that you worry about, and when the ball snapped, you know where he is.
Yep.
Now you don't have to worry about it as much from a physical standpoint because the rules have taken that crunching safety out of the game to a certain degree. But he's athletic and a good enough hitter that I think that you'll go. Again, I don't know if it'll be this year or in the future, but you're going to, as an offense, go and say, okay, where's this guy? And, okay, now we know where he is. Let's call our audibles.
Beyond that, is there anybody you're keeping your eye on? Like, I think this guy could really have a breakout start to the season.
Yeah, Antonio Johnson, I don't know if you necessarily label him as a breakout. I would expect him to be a star on this defense, not just a backup or a key contributor. I think he's going to be really, really special. I think somebody's got to emerge at linebacker. It's a vital position. You lose Buddy Johnson, who I think is probably the hardest guy to replace on both sides of the football, just because of what he meant. He played so many downs. So I think whoever steps up and fills that void is going to be a key contributor. I don't know who that is yet, but also a backup tight end. With Baylor at that position, a guy that's been much hyped. Can he stay healthy? But the mismatch opportunities when you have two tight ends on the field and what the defense has to do from a personnel perspective to match up, that creates a lot of opportunities. And then also with the young Blake Smith, who reportedly had a great camp before he got hurt last year. So I think there's some really good options at that position as well.
By the way, I think it's kind of awesome that he used our guy for 21 and 21. So I don't know if you were listening earlier, but our 21 and 21 was Antonio Johnson today at number 17. And the reason I asked that question, because I kind of felt that he could be that breakout player, Stephen. And then also, who did we have? It was Andre White to start the year, was another one of the names that we were thinking about because of the linebacker spot. So, we're on the same wavelength, my friend. We're on the same wavelength.
How do you get Antonio Johnson on the field, Stephen?
Honestly, my question is, how do you get Leon O'Neal on the field? I don't see. I don't know. For me, at the safety position with Damani and Antonio, I don't know if it's nickel as well. I mean, you got to have a lot of depth, and I understand that. And you got to put your best guys out there, but he's obviously not a corner either. So it could be you shift him down in the box, dime defense, nickel defense. If he can match up at those positions, I don't know. But in my opinion, I think it's got to be at the safety position as a true free safety, with Damani coming down in the box and being that strong safety box type player. That's how I see it. But again, I'm not at practice every day. I just see the talent, and I know where we've been exposed in years past, and I think that he has the opportunity to come in and compete and really help us.
Ball test based on what we saw in 2020 and what we expect for 2021. Your thoughts on the Aggies here starting today and getting, at least moving into camp, and what the 2021 outlook will be?
Man, I think it's exciting. From where I sit and just watching and seeing just the progression that our program has been on. It definitely has been on the ascent. Honestly, I think it goes obviously Fisher. He deserves. Coach Fisher deserves his just due. I think minus the schedules and the win and loss column and stuff like that, I think that involvement, starts back a few coaches from Fisher, going back to Sherman and the O-lineman and that he put together, regardless of the win losses. I think, he put together string of O-linemen that, gave Aggies and made Aggies relevant on the O-line back in the day. And then, so he had his time in terms of bringing that talent, the Von Millers and stuff like that of the world, who's still are relevant names in Aggie sports. And then, you got Sumlin comes along and kind of bring a little spice to it and a little, a little hype and brings us Johnny. He delivers us Johnny, and and that kind of plays a role into his era. And then Fisher has kind of come and he's knocking out of the park with recruiting, the pizzazz, the substance, everything. And so he's kind of bundled all those things up in once, man, in one basket. And man, he's really, he's really putting it out there. It's really been a progressive deal that's got our Aggies on the ascent.
So Ty, I'll be very honest with you. My kids don't know much about the Texas and Texas A&M rivalry because they're all young. But you played in that rivalry. I don't know how much your family is aware of it and how much it means just for you. The fact that these two institutions are going to be playing again. Obviously, the Aggies I think are on a different trajectory than Texas. Yeah. No, I mean it's that's notable. That's a fact that we're on a different pathway than Texas, and the recent news has highlighted that. In terms of my family and what they know about the Aggie and the TU rivalry, they know as much as they know as much as I tell them or we talk about it. Obviously I got a daughter that's at A&M. They're not, playing UT, but even in her recruiting process, UT was the first one to offer her a scholarship, for softball when she was like in 8th grade, and I wasn't against it, but I also let her know that the history there, I kind of probed and poked at her a little bit about that and kind of educated her on that a little bit. But so I say all that to say this, that's probably like, especially like our oldest, their most recent, understanding about what that rivalry means. We do this thing, young Richard, at the end of the show. It's a test. It's very difficult. What are you supposed to do?
You're supposed to like this video and subscribe to TexAgs on YouTube and become a TexAgs premium subscriber if you are not already.
Very smart. And then what happens if we get up to 5,000 subscribers on Friday?
So we're going to air all 3 hours of TexAgs Radio Friday edition. That includes the last hour with Billy Lucci. The show in its entirety for free.
Way too long.
Tomorrow on YouTube.
Long outro. And last thing, do you have to like A&M to be a subscriber? Or is it open to the world? Open to anybody. Open. This is not China.
You don't discriminate.
No. You can come join us. You can watch us wherever you are. You can like LSU. Thanks for watching.